If you're a family child care administrator, this is truly 100% for you. Today I was having a conversation about CACFP. And as an advocate for CACFP, I truly enjoy it. I love it, every aspect of it. But there are some things that I wish were different, of course. It's not perfect, but it's doable, right? And one of my issues is the documenting the meals at time of service. For a family child care educator, that's hard because you're asking me to document something as it's occurring, as though my laptop or computer is going to be in the kitchen with me at exactly that moment. And that's not fair to me or to anyone, right? On top of that, and had to turn the air on, it got a little hot in here. So that's really my one issue with CACFP. Outside of that, everything else is doable. I've been with the program since July of 2013. So 12 years, and I've always been digital. I started with Minute Menu. I went to Childcare, and I think now they're calling it Parachute or whatever it's called, right? I need to get those little things for my eyeglasses. So, whatever they call it now, I've been using it since 2013. I do all of the paperwork for my facility. No one else does any paperwork for us but me. Period. I have staff. I'm digressing. This is why I like to do the 60 seconds or less pre-recorded, right? Because I can talk. But anyway, I don't have problems with CACFP. I don't have the complaints. I don't have the issues. I don't have any of those things that people complain about, right? You have to serve a whole grain every day. You can have recycled menus. You can spend one Saturday and do your breakfast, your lunch, your dinner, whatever meals you serve. You can do those things in a nutshell for 2 to 3 months in one sitting, right? So it's already planned. Okay. If you change or augment anything, you know that you can just write it on the paper and change that one or two things either in the morning or before the food hits the table, right? Because that's your right under CACFP. Homes don't have to show the receipts that others do, right? So that's another plus. They only do 3 visits a fiscal year between October and September. 1 they announce, 2 I believe is unannounced, right? So you know that when they come in to do the visit, you know what they're looking for because they give you the same form every time they come in to visit. There's nothing new in what they are doing. You have the documentation in front of you. What you're doing with it, I don't know, but you have it. Sorry. So I don't understand what the issues are for family child care administrators regarding the food program. I don't see it. I don't get it. I don't understand it. If you've ever gone to their conferences, which you are entitled to attend, which you should attend, if you are not a member of CACFP, you should be a member of CACFP, right? Because you work in this field and you should be a member of organizations that govern you because you want that insider mindset. You don't want to learn or know just what someone tells you when they come to visit you. You want to know what you know for yourself because you've seen it in writing. You've asked the questions regarding policy or whatever else at the conferences. in the smaller settings where you'll get that individual Q&A that you may need. Or you can hire me and I can give it to you. Nonetheless, I don't have the problems. CACFP to me is easy. It's straightforward. It's not, oh my Lord, what is this? It's none of that. They tell you what they're looking for. You got what? 8 sheets. I think it's 8 sheets front and back, right? And there's a checklist that they go down every time they come out. The exact same checklist. You know how much money you're entitled to get at the end of each month. Because when you submit your electronic report, it tells you how many meals you served for the month. In that, it also says you served X amount of breakfast, X amount of snacks, X amount of dinners, X amount of AM snacks, PM snacks, evening snacks, breakfast, lunch, dinner. If you do all of those things, right? So it gives you a tally. In that tally, you also know the reimbursement rate because they give you that too. Right? So if everything is given to you and you're complaining simply about doing some data entry at the end of the day, is it the program or is it the user? And I know it's offensive to some, but somebody got to be honest, right? If you are organized, how is it a problem? If you are organized, what's strict about it? Now, I understand if you're a sinner, which I am not, okay? Yeah, I got some things going on with CACFP that I cannot speak on, talk on, or whatever. And I know for you all, it may very well be an issue. Because I be listening, and I'm like, shit, I don't want the headache. Do I believe the reimbursement should be the same across the board? Yes, I do. Do I believe the reimbursements for home-based settings should be the same across the board? Yes, I do. Do I believe the reimbursement should be the same between home-based and center-based? Yes, I do. However, with that same reimbursement will come the center's headache. And have you wondered, do you really want that? I'm not advocating for it. I'm not advocating against it. I'm saying, have you really thought about what it is that you're asking for at that level, right? But nonetheless, I've been gone 8 minutes rambling, right? Not even rambling, but 8 minutes stating CACFP is not the problem. Yes, that checking the meals at time of service for home-based settings is stupid as hell. And it should not be. However, there's nothing else that I can complain about regarding that program. I believe that it teaches us all how to be better at our own personal diets, right? Clearly it ain't helping me, but I mean but I do believe that it helps you to be more conscious of what it is that you're eating if you are following it to fidelity when there are no clients present, because you're making sure you're having a nutritious meal each time you sit down to eat. It helps me when I'm ensuring that my grandchildren eat nutritious meals through the day. Maybe I snack, so that's my problem. But my granddaughter has the protein, the grain, the vegetable, the fruit, the milk with her dinner, with her lunch. She has a full breakfast in accordance to CACFP because I allowed it to guide me in ensuring that her meals were nutritious and they weren't my meals, basically, right? But yeah, no, you won't get me to complain about it at all. Now, if I could change something, I'd change that dumbass clicking it at meal service, but that's it. I've had the same sponsor. I have no problems with them either. I respect them. They respect me. If I have questions, I ask Mr. Horton. He's very good at answering my questions. I have no complaints and no problems and no issues with anyone. And they were very, very, my sponsor anyway, was very, very gracious and lenient when I had a car accident a few years ago. And I do not take that lightly. At all. I could not walk. I could not move. I could not do anything. And I was trying to train the staff on how to do the food program, but I was laying up in the bed with fractured ribs, ruptured everything, right? So they gave me grace in submitting things, during that time period. And I respect them. I have no complaints at all. None. Because I know sometimes I be a little fuckly with it too. You know what I'm saying? But no. No, sir. That checking the food at meal at time of service, it can go out the door. But other than that, it's an aid. You need it. You need that extra income to offset the rising cost of food. I'm an advocate for everyone to join the CACFP. Everybody. Join CACFP. Join it. Become a member. It's what, $75 a year. Get the extra money to offset the food. Because I guarantee you will see the difference when it comes to your monthly income. Maybe not right now in this economy, with that, not in this economy, but you will see it. I guarantee you. So that's my spiel. That's my 12-minute rant for the day. Tomorrow I'll go back to ensuring that I am under 60 seconds and clear.